So this is Simon. And like many of you, Simon's a really badass engineer. He's heavily recruited, and in fact, he's got 2 job offers here in the Valley, one from Jawbone and one from Square. So he does a little bit of research to see what it's like to actually work at those companies. Except all he can find are bitter reviews from past employees on job review sites. He finds job postings, resume help that he surely doesn't need. So he jumps over to Quora, and he sees all these nasty posts about Square that are totally irrelevant because those people don't even work there. That was until he found Candid. Candid is a company culture score given by current employees. When Simon got to Candid, he searched for his #1 company, Jawbone. He came to Jawbone's page, and he saw that they had a 71 overall score, but that score was broken into 7 easy-to-understand factors relating to culture, like retirement, location, perks, happiness. He sees that Jawbone got beat up on retirement, but culture and happiness overall are very good. So he goes over to Square to see how they did. When he gets to Square's page, he sees that they scored a little bit higher overall. They got a 78. But most importantly to Simon, they really knocked it out of the park on culture and happiness. He can see a few 200-character reviews from current employees. He sees a quick company description, how many people left the score. And this is really valuable. There's no advertisements. There's no resume help. He didn't have to log in. Now, what if he wanted to review his current company? Simon's actually an employee at Yahoo. So we're going to go and we're going to rank Yahoo on behalf of Simon. And we do this by first confirming that Simon actually works at Yahoo. And we do that through a beautiful integration with LinkedIn. Once we know that he actually works there, very quickly, in less than 2 minutes, he ranks every one of the 7 factors. Pay, very good. Benefits, great. Retirement, okay. Location of the office, yeah. Perks, well, no more work from home, so he's not happy. Culture, he thinks is taken a little bit of a hit since the new management came in. And overall, he's a little bit less than happy. He is, after all, being recruited by other companies. He leaves a quick comment. Again, only 200 characters, no ranting here. And he says, well, the work from home options and the food leave something to be desired, but I just eat out. Okay. So we go back, and he can immediately see how that affected the score of Yahoo, bringing it to a 68. Now, a few days later, Alex, who's in HR at Yahoo, comes in, and he wants to claim this company profile page. He does that with a few clicks, a quick form, and a quick process on the Candid side, and Alex can log in as the HR representative for Yahoo. Once he logs in, he comes to a beautiful dashboard that shows him this analytical information from current employees, this feedback loop that's so great for Alex. He sees each month and how they're doing on each of the 7 factors. But most importantly, he sees that perks are the biggest problem right now at Yahoo. He sees that they really nosedived in February. He goes and he reviews some of the anonymous comments from those current employees. And he can see that it looks like food is really the issue. But now he has the data to take to Marissa and say, hey, we got to do something about the food here. But most importantly, he can reply to this person for the entire world to see. So he can say, thanks for your feedback. And we're working on the food. We'll have some new options this spring. And again, this is all anonymous. So he comes back out to the Yahoo page where everyone sees this interaction, this feedback loop between the current employees and the people at the company who actually care what they have to say. This is not only valuable to the current employee, but it's extremely valuable for recruitment. This is a badge of honor for the companies. Square should be very proud of scoring in the high 70s and 80s. Other companies, maybe they're inspired to do a little bit better when it comes to culture. I'm excited to launch Candid today to all of you. You can go to becandid.co. You can add your company. It's super simple using LinkedIn. You can review your company without even logging in. And we can really affect positive change at all of the organizations we work for. Thank you.
Okay, feedback on Candid. Go ahead, Adeo.
So I run a site called The Funded, which, doesn't make me too popular with some people. They literally, I've gotten death threats.
Sure.
And what happens in a anonymous rating site is the companies that score good, they're like, thank you. They're never going to give you money, right? And the companies that score badly have another word or phrase with you in it, but it doesn't involve thanking.
Sure.
And they're never going to give you money. So, because they're like, you're the site that made me look bad.
Absolutely.
So, where is this mystery money going to come from?
Yeah, absolutely. So what
one other comment before I'm done.
Sure.
Like, no one really likes to claim their profile. It's almost like you claim the profile on that site. It's like, yes. It's like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. So what you saw is the MVP,
Right.
which essentially we're a 1.0 company, so we're launching the MVP to start getting data. We have a lot on the roadmap, exciting things that all relate to that transparent feedback loop, things like rewards for employees. We really think that whether the companies like it or not, that these companies have a voice, or these employees have a voice, and that they can give that valuable feedback, maybe in exchange,
yeah,
but they're more
not
likely
going to do it anonymously on a third-party site, and the company wouldn't want that anyway. They'd want it to just tell the HR person, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because they do it already, and they do it on Quora. And unfortunately, Quora is kind of a nasty thing because a lot of those employees don't even work there, which is the problem there. So we hope that this solves it, keeps everybody on the up and up.
But so how do you make money?
We charge $99 a month to the employer for that analytical data. Again, today, it's just the rankings and where they're going up and down. But in the future, we hope to add a lot of features that they get to take advantage of.
And how big do you size the market?
It's hard to say. Obviously, in the job review side, if you look at Glassdoor, it's hundreds of millions of dollars.
But I think your site is actually more useful for people pre-interview, not with job offers, because if you have an offer, you've already walked through, you've met people you know, so this information is dated and it's stale. But the more interesting thing that you have, if it works the way that your MVP is designed, is that you have information about who's poachable. Because
absolutely.
When you're an employer and you're getting resumes, you know these people are available, but you don't. The best people are oftentimes not looking, but if they are starting to do research, then you know that they're available, but it's not public information. That'll be more valuable for you than anything else.
Good feedback, thank you.
So have you thought about, because Andrew, the character you had there, I don't necessarily believe that he's going to make his decision between the two companies to work for based on this data. He's going to make this decision based on what he views of the companies, his friends that work there, what he's heard in the media. I think the data is interesting, but why not just go private with it? Why not just go out and make this a SaaS platform for the companies and work with the HR departments to be able, we're going to roll out a question a day or a question a week to your employee base, and over time we're going to build this database, and only you're going to have access to it, and don't worry about it becoming a bitch board because it's not public. It's just for you guys internally. Have you thought about that, and why not go that direction?
Absolutely. So on the roadmap, we hope to actually take a lot of those surveys. Obviously, that's a huge market in itself. We actually believe, though, that people are more honest when they know others are going to view the data. So our market validation took place on Hacker News, and we're really focused on these kind of hacker-esque engineering types. All of it stemmed out of the implosion of another startup when all the engineers were like, offers aren't my problem. My problem is I want to know what the current culture is like at that company. And right now, all I can hear about is bitter reviews and the problems I talked about.
I also see the big opportunity being private labeling it for companies, because within corporations, they want feedback. And as long as it's visible to the executive team and select employees, they'll probably encourage their employees to do this thing. It's when you take it outside, when you have the anonymous issues that Adio talked about, that's when you get into trouble, because you will have the disgruntled employees going on and slamming their companies. There are a lot of them, 10 to 20% of every company has disgruntled employees. The risk factor is that they're the ones who become vocal. And then the companies try to get the happy employees to speak, and it becomes unreliable data. But within the firewall, if it's an internal tool, you could license it for $25,000, $50,000 a year, something like that.
Let's hear it for Candid. Well done.
One thing, Jay had a great point, though, because if you get that data from the companies in there, then the companies could flip a switch and make it public. And maybe in that situation, you would have paying customers.
Let's hear it for Candid. Well done.
Thank you.